Studnik Aquatics here. If you watch the last video that I just released called Too Many Cigars, I need another shelf in there. Well, I don't have any cedar right now other than these two little pieces of scraps that I have left over. I also have two brackets left over that I build. I build my own shelf brackets out of cedar. And I will eventually maybe get a board and put a whole shelf in on the bottom there, but for now, if I can come up with enough lumber to build 4 shelf brackets, then I could set each one of those singles trays on those shelf brackets and that'll hold them. And then if I ever put a shelf in, it's no big deal. I just put a shelf on top. I probably won't need a shelf. So anyway, I have these two left over from when I built it before. And basically, you know, it's just a simple standard shelf bracket, 90 degrees, and then you 45 that. So I am going to go ahead and rip these the same as this. And what I do to do that is I want it to be the same width both directions. So you basically set it in your table saw like this, lean it up against it, go like that, and then you can go ahead and start ripping it. And when you do that, then you'll have these nice little even strips. And I'll go ahead and rip that one. I'll probably have to rip this one too to have enough. It takes more than it looks like. But I'm going to try to get 2 more of these built and get them leveled and put them in there, and then I can set those singles racks up off the ground a little bit in that humidor. I have ripped these. They worked out absolutely perfect, so they're nice even little squares. And this one ends up being just a little bit narrow. As you see, it's not the same width as this other one, so I'm going to set it aside and not use it. That way everything is symmetrical and everything is the same. And these are what I'm going to work with. So now I just need to start cutting them in these lengths. Cut these angles, do 2 more, and I should have enough here to do that, and I won't have to mess with this board. What you're going to want to do also is you have these edges on here where you made the cut. So my coffee out of the way. Just take some sandpaper and just hit those edges a little bit on those ends, and then you can also hit this whole long edge just to make sure there's no little pieces of wood that are fraying and looks bad. Do it on all pieces before you put them together. It really doesn't take that much time, and I'm not sanding it for hours on end. You just hit the little edges, get rid of them so that it's more clean, and then you're good to go. Okay, one side of these boards are not sanded. As you can see, there's one side, and that's the way they come. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting the unsanded side on the bottom and on the back, because you're never going to see that because these shelves are really low and this will be against the wall. And basically all you do now is make sure you have the right pieces, get them set in there, and use your corner clamps. Go ahead and corner clamp this on here, one on this one on that one. Pre-drill the screw hole, also pre-drill the countersink for the head, and go ahead and go this way with it. That way it is put together, and then we cut these 45s to put in here. So I'll add more to this in a little bit. When I talk about pre-drilling the countersink, I've already pre-drilled for the width of the screw without the threads, but then you have the head, and these typically don't split, but this is small wood, so it might. So you want to take a drill bit, this one here, which is the same width as the head, and drill in just a little tiny bit so that when you countersink this and it's flush, it doesn't split. In order to mark this one, I can take my square, which this is 45, I can put it down real close to the edge, get my pencil, and mark it right there. That gives me a 45 mark on that board, which I can then set this way, put it at that 1-inch line. I know this seems a little kind of a strange way to do it, but it does work. And when you hold it right on that line right there, that gives you a 45 on the other side. So now all I have to do is set the miter saw at 45 and cut these two here. And as you see, here is my 1-inch line, and I have cut the 45, and it fits in there absolutely perfect. What you do now is you hold this on this line, you hold it very tight, and you pre-drill this one and this one without coming through the bottom. And you have to have really short screws to hold these two together. And then that would be the bracket. Okay, I am using 8 by 1.5 Torx head finish screws for this one here. That's these little guys. And as you see, if you drill it in exactly the right spot, it doesn't come out the other side. Same way on this side. These were longer ones that I used. These are actually 8 by 2.5 Torx head finish screws, and that's what I used for this one right here. And it goes in there far enough that it holds it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill this and get these put in, and then all 4 shelf brackets will be done. Okay, there's my drill bit that I'm using. I just need to get in exactly the right spot so I don't come out the other side. Hold it nice and tight. Don't hold this too tight or you'll take this off a 90. And then do the same on the other one. And since these are Torx head finish screws, the heads are so small, they're not splitting without pre-drilling the countersink. So if that makes any sense. So we have the right tip now, and we take this little Torx head finish screw, hold it nice and snug, countersink it, and there it is. So next step is to do the other one and get these 4 brackets up. Okay, I found the middle, and then I moved out, I think, about 6 inches either direction. I came in 6 inches from each end down there, making sure I'm on this line, that it's level, everything is square and straight across. So I have these 2 done, that one, and then this one will sit right in here someplace, and that way those 2 trays will sit on top of here. So I'll add this to it. I do have the brackets in. Eventually I will be putting a shelf on that bracket, so this is a little more convenient. I can just set these on there, but it does get them up off the floor, and you can lift them off and remove them or do whatever you need to do. But I definitely, it looks a little funny without having a shelf underneath it, and so I'll probably pick up another piece of cedar, I don't have one that long, and go ahead and put a shelf all the way across here. That way I have a place to put those. So everything turned out really good on this side. It's all organized now. I no longer have boxes sitting way up top. Everything's looking really, really good. So I am going to go ahead and turn the humidification system back on. Close the door. I might pull myself a cigar and sit down and relax. This is Studnik Aquatics, and keep smoking cigars.